What's going on, guys? It's ETA Prime back here again. Today I am super excited because I got my hands on the all-new Neo Geo Mini. Given this is the Japanese version, but I'm still super excited. The international version hasn't even gone up for pre-order yet, so I figured I'd go ahead and do a review on this one first. So like I mentioned, this is the Japanese version. They are up for sale or pre-order on the Japanese Amazon website. I did pre-order one when the pre-order first went live, but it's going to take a little while to get here. So I went on eBay and I found a guy in California that actually had two. I did pay over cost or over retail, but I really wanted to get my hands on one very quickly because I want to do some stuff with this thing. One of my favorite systems of all time is NeoGeo, the MVS or the AES. I love pretty much every game except for King of Fighters. I grew up playing Street Fighter, so that's what I'm accustomed to. But I know a lot of people love King of Fighters. It's just not something that I've ever really got into. I'm sure I could if I tried to, but for me, I've always just went for Street Fighter. Alright, so there are 40 preloaded games on the Japanese version. They are different from the international version. We're going to go in alphabetical order here. We have Aggressors of Dark Combat, Alpha Mission 2, Art of Fighting, Blazing Star, Burning Fight, Cyberlip, Fatal Fury Special, Mark of the Wolves, King of Monsters 2, Super Tag Battle, Metal Slug 2, Metal Slug 3, Ninja Commando, Ninja Masters, Puzzled, Real Bout Fatal Fury 2, Real Bout Fatal Fury, Samurai Shodown II, Samurai Shodown 4, Samurai Shodown 5 Special, Shock Troopers, Super Sidekicks, King of Fighters 94, King of Fighters 95, King of Fighters 96, King of Fighters 97, King of Fighters 98, King of Fighters 99, King of Fighters 2000, King of Fighters 2001, King of Fighters 2002, King of Fighters 2003, The Last Blade 2, Top Hunter, Top Players Golf, Twinkle Star Spirits, World Heroes Perfect. The international version has a different lineup, and as you heard, there are a lot of King of Fighters here. I'm gonna try my hardest to get into it, but they have some really good Samurai Shodown, or otherwise known as Samurai Spirit games, Metal Slug, Blazing Star, my all-time favorite Neo Geo game. With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get this thing unboxed. As you can see, the box itself is fairly small. When I received it in the mail, I wasn't sure if I got scammed or not, but sure enough, I opened it up just to take a peek, and it's all in here. First up, we're going to open this little white package here. We have some stickers, or possibly Marquis, and a USB Type-C cable to power this thing up. It does use USB Type-C for the power and the controllers. Speaking of controllers, I cannot find them for under 80 bucks. If you happen to run across a couple and you want to get rid of them and you don't want to scalp me too hard, let me know in the comments below and I will buy them. I'd like to get a white one and a black one. I was correct. These are Marquis stickers. We get two different choices here. Right off the bat, I'm not sure which one I'm going to use. We also get a joystick sticker. We can put that over the joystick and the buttons. I'm going to leave it plain for now. I do plan on doing a couple videos. My next video will be tearing this thing down because I really want to see what CPU this is using. I'd be really surprised if it's not using some sort of an all-winner. This thing is absolutely tiny, and I usually don't say this about anything, but it is pretty cute. Now it's got a 3.5-inch 4x3 display on it. We have two inputs on the side for controllers, power button, HDMI, power in, and a 3.5mm audio jack out on the back. Let me know in the comments, which Marquis should I use? I don't even know if I'm going to go with the joystick sticker here or not. But I got two Marquis to choose from. I think I may go with this one. So build quality actually feels pretty solid. It is all plastic. And one thing I noticed is this is not a gated stick here. This is more of an analog stick. And in the past, I have built mini arcades. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check that out. You can build one for cheap. It'll run every Neo Geo game. Plus, it has a 7-inch screen. It's not bad. A lot of people were complaining about me using an analog stick on that build, and I'm sure they're going to complain here also. But overall, it should be usable. Start, select. We have our 4 action buttons. Nothing special here. I mean, they'll definitely get the job done. And the action's pretty good on them. I mean, they're not real arcade buttons, but this thing is super tiny, and I'm sure it's going to work fine. It's got a 4x3 3.5 inch LCD display. Over here on this side we have an input for a controller. That'll be player 2. And there's another one on the left hand side for player 1. These are both USB Type-C, and I'm pretty sure they're going to use those proprietary NEO GEO Mini controllers that are almost impossible to find for under 80 bucks. So it looks really nice. I love the way this thing sits. And it actually has some nice rubber feet on it, so it won't slide around too much. Around back we have our power button, mini HDMI output. Now this is not a full-size HDMI. 3.5mm audio jack out, and our USB Type-C power in. The USB Type-C ports on the side for the controllers are marked 1-player and 2-player. I really do like the way it looks without the stickers on it. I might do a marquee, and I might just leave it plain. We could even mod this to put a real lit marquee in here. There's a few things I want to do to this unit, and I will have more videos coming up very shortly on it. First one being a full teardown so we can see what kind of CPU and RAM is in here. And then I also want to try to put a battery inside of the unit. I don't want to cut any holes in it. We're going to try to work around that. I do have a couple extra 10,000 milliamp hour battery packs that I've been looking to do something with. So I'm all plugged in. I just used one of my USB Type-C cables for a phone I have. Works just fine. You can use the included NeoGeo branded cable if you'd like to. Got a little power LED, 2 speakers on the front. The screen's pretty bright and it looks pretty crisp from here. It's not bad at all. Now I'm just going to go and find a game here. I already mentioned all the games that are on here. We're going to try to hack this thing later on down the road also. Probably add more games to it. But for now, there's 40 to choose from. Actually, the first thing we should do is check out the options up here. So Facebook, Twitter, this will just pop up an IR code you can scan with your phone to go to SNK's websites, I guess. I'm hoping there's an English option in here. We're going to find out. Sound. Brightness. I can't read any of this. I'm going to go with the first option. English, right there. So we can change the whole menu system to English. You shouldn't have trouble reading any of this now. There's an option marked sort, and we can go default or recently played. That'll sort the games. Recently played games will come up first. Factory reset. The third option at the very top is the copyright. Just gives you a little information here. Don't copy the ROMs that are on here. I mean, that's pretty much what they mean. I think it's time to start a game. I'm going to go with a game from one of my favorite franchises, Samurai Shodown. I'm going to get a little closer to the screen so we can check out how crisp it is. Hopefully my camera picks it up. Had to let that BIOS play out for you first. So yeah, the screen looks really good. Viewing angles aren't bad at all. I really wanted to test it with this first. We're going to move over to HDMI output in just a second. I kind of like playing it like this. The controller is very, very small. This analog seems to work fine. I kind of wish it was gated, but we can't have everything here. The buttons actually don't feel too bad. I mean, they're nothing special. They're working when I press them. And the 2 little speakers on here actually get pretty loud. I mean, it's definitely loud enough for you. You wouldn't need to use headphones unless you want to be quiet in a room. One thing it's missing is an internal battery, and I think that's what we're going to be adding by this weekend. We'll get something in here. Now, on the unit itself, it only says 5 volts. I am using a 2.4 amp power supply. I think it should work with at least a 1.5 amp, 2 amp. You should be good. Pressing start and select will bring you into this menu from within any game. You can exit, you can save, and you can load. There are 4 slots per game. I'm going to save here. Back out. Actually, I want to exit, so we'll press it again. Go to exit. And we're going to test another game. I think having 4 save slots per game is plenty. I will have to hit up some Metal Slug. We'll go with Metal Slug 2. Some of these games are using different BIOSes, and you will get a BIOS screen when you're loading any of these games. These games are running in AES mode, not MVS. You are able to go into the options and change the difficulty without dip switches. I do like MVS mode a lot, but I also love being able to change the difficulty on some of these games. I will miss inserting that coin by pressing select, but I can overlook that. So you will notice some slowdown in these Metal Slug games. I mean, this happened on the real arcade system, so it's happening here also. When there's a lot of explosions on screen, you will notice a slowdown. I'm wondering if that's why they didn't put Metal Slug 4 on this one. I know it's on the international version, but that one really did have a hard time on a real MVS machine. And with emulation, unlike the Raspberry Pi, I actually overclocked just a little bit. I overclocked the NeoGeo clock speed, not the CPU speed, just to alleviate that bad lag on Metal Slug 4. But if you've ever used a little ARM device to emulate NeoGeo, this is spot on with the Raspberry Pi. This is what the Pi does with this game here. It's running pretty much exactly the same. It's not bad at all. It's perfectly playable. And I think it's doing a pretty decent job. So far, I'm really digging this little machine. We're going to go ahead and hook this up to HDMI. I'm going to use my game capture. We're going to see if there's any more settings when we're using HDMI output instead of the built-in screen. Alright, so here we are hooked up to my game capture. We are running at 720p. That's all we're going to get out of HDMI. It seems to be running at 60 FPS. We'll go to settings. Yes, we have screen and image quality optimization. I'm going to go to screen here and turn it to 4:3 because that's the way these were meant to be played. We'll mess around with it when we get back into a game. I don't want to mess with image quality optimization just yet. That's going to smooth out the pixels. I don't really like it, but some people might be into it. Start up Blazing Star. Just check to see if there's anything else here. Nope, screen and image quality optimization. I did turn it to 4:3, so it's going to look a little different here. It only works in the game. The main menu will still be at 16:9. So we have the black bars on the side, which is good for me. We're going to go back to screen. We'll change it back to 16:9 just so we can take a look at it. As you can see, it stretches everything out a little bit. I don't like the way this looks, so I'm going to go back to 4:3. We have another option down here. I'm not exactly sure what this is. I don't notice a difference with that on, so I'm just going to turn it back off real quick. See if I notice anything. I guess there's a little border at the very top and bottom now. Maybe that stretch. Okay, I see. Yeah, this brings it to like a true 4:3. And I think it looks great. By the way, if you've never played Blazing Star, this is one of the games you need to play for Neo Geo. This is an amazing game. And these buttons are working just fine. I am slamming on this button to get my heavy fire. And I can pretty much keep it going full time. We'll go to that image optimization. We're going to turn it on. I know it's just going to smooth out the pixels. I hate the way it makes it look. You don't really notice it on this game as much as others, but let's say, for instance, a King of Fighters game. You will definitely notice a difference when you turn that on. If we could just stay still here, we might be able to notice it, but we'll try it with a different game. I'm going to go back up with this, and we're going to turn this off. Yeah, so it does stretch from the top to bottom. And I think it looks a lot better with that optimization off. I have played this game on real hardware and tons of different emulators or different ARM single board computers and x86 emulation. It's running fine. there will be a bit of a slowdown when the first boss comes out. That's even on the original hardware. We're going to go ahead and get up there. Just want to see if it happens. I'm pretty sure it will. I mean, it even happens on my high-end gaming PC when I'm using Final Burn Alpha. Here he comes. Yeah. Oh, it wasn't actually too bad. I mean, you definitely noticed the slowdown, but that's normal. The game is running really, really good. I'm just going to finish him off here. You can skip ahead if you want to. There's a massive slowdown on a lot of systems as soon as he explodes. And we get it here. I mean, it's not any worse than the Raspberry Pi 3. Start and select. That'll bring us into this menu. I'm going to go ahead and save my data on the first save slot. And we'll exit. We'll try another game. Since there's a ton of King of Fighters on here, we're going to go with one of those. I just want to see how it performs on this hardware. I'll do 2001. Like I mentioned at the very beginning, I'm not a King of Fighters fan, so don't laugh at me if I get destroyed by this computer. So one thing I've noticed with a lot of emulation in King of Fighters is the shadows. You see they're blinking or constantly blinking. I don't remember if this really happens on the original MDS hardware or not, but I do see it on tons of different systems I've emulated these games on. If you don't mind, tell me in the comments below if this really happens on, MDS or AES hardware. I cannot remember if it does or not. Now, I've only played this a few times in the arcade, so I just don't remember. It's running really well. I was able to pull off all the moves I know of with this character. The speed of the game seems perfect. I don't notice any slowdowns at all. So in the time I've spent with this, I really enjoy it. I actually like using the built-in screen better than HDMI. Where at 720p, I know it looks good, but it does look a lot better on that small 3.5-inch 4x3 display. If you could pick one of these up for the suggested retail price of $99, I'd say jump all over it. I wouldn't pay scalper prices. Now I have seen these go for $250 on eBay lately. And until the international version releases, you might have to buy from a scalper. Now, I was able to get a pre-order in on the Japanese Amazon website, but literally 30 minutes after that, nobody could get it shipped to the US. I don't know if they made a mistake when they first listed it, but I do have another one coming, and I plan on giving that one away. So I think it's a cool little device. I know we can emulate NeoGeo on pretty much everything. I have $10 Android phones that'll play NeoGeo just fine, but to have something official from SNK, I know it's not the original SNK, it does feel pretty nice. Analog stick versus a real gated joystick is a downside for a lot of people, but it does work, and it works pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is leave a link to the Japanese Amazon website. You never know if they go back on sale and you're able to ship them to the United States. I'm also going to leave a link to the US Amazon page with the international version. It's not up for sale yet, but keep an eye on it. And finally, I'll leave an eBay link in the description just in case you want to pay a higher price. It's your money. It's really up to you. Keep an eye out because tomorrow I will be releasing a teardown video. We're going to check this thing out. Following that video, I'm going to attempt to throw a 10,000 milliamp hour battery pack inside of here. Now, I dread drilling holes in this. I really don't want any extra holes. But in order to charge that battery pack while it's inside, I might have to do it. So stay tuned to the channel. Really appreciate you guys watching. If you could, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn notifications on so you know when I upload my next video. And like always, thanks for watching.